Now in this lecture, we'll take the problems based on Fourier integral representation. Now what type of problems will be there on this part? Okay, the problem will be of such kind. Okay, by using this Fourier integral representation, it is asked to show that integration of some function here d lambda is equal to some function of x on this side, or depending on the interval of x, we have some function on this side. Okay, it is a show that problem. Okay, showing integration equal to some function. Okay, so answer is given to us. We just have to use different method to simplify it. So what is the method to solve this? Okay, first of all, whatever function is there on this right hand side, consider all that term as f of x. Okay, consider all the function which is on the right hand side, means on the other side of that integration, take all that function as f of x. Then look at the terms in this integration. Okay, depending on this term, we have to simplify it. This integration may contains sin lambda x term, cos lambda x term, or both the terms. If this integral contain only sin lambda x term and any other function of x, okay, if this integration will contain sin lambda x term and some another function of x, then in that case use Fourier sine transform on this f of x, find the value of fs lambda and take inverse of that. Using inverse of that, we get f of x in the form of integration. And we already have considered this right hand side as f of x. So we just have to check whether left hand side, okay, this comes out to be this integration or not. So by using inverse, we get f of x in the form of integration, and we just have to check whatever integration we get by inverse transform and this integration, whether that two integrations are same or not. Okay, so carefully remember, firstly take function on right hand side as f of x, then look at the term in the integration. If it contains only sin lambda x term and some another function of lambda or x, then use Fourier sine transform, find fs lambda by making use of this f of x, and take inverse of that. That gives us f of x in the form of integration, and check whatever integration we got and whatever integration it is asked to find, whether they are same or not. If that integral contains only cos lambda x term and some other functions, then use Fourier cosine transform. Find the value of fc lambda, and then using inverse of that, we get f of x. And check that f of x in the form of integration, that integration and this integration, whether they are same or not. And it is a prove that problem, so we must get the same integral. Okay, and if it contains both the terms, both sin lambda x as well as cos lambda x, then use the general Fourier transform. Find a value of f of lambda and then inverse of that, and whatever integration we get, that integration and required integral, that must be same integration. Okay, so this is very important type and quite easy because it is a show that problem, so we know the answer. We just have to properly pick up the hints from the problem itself, and by using the corresponding formulas we can get the answer. Okay, so first right hand side, take it as f of x, check out the terms in the integration. Sin lambda x, don't forget this angle must be lambda x. Okay, if there is different angle, only lambda or only x, then don't consider that term. Consider the term in which we have the angle as lambda x. And if it is together with sine or cos, then accordingly use the corresponding Fourier transforms. Both the terms use general Fourier transform. And then inverse of that gives us this f of x, that is right hand side, in the form of integration. And whichever integration we got and whichever it is asked to find, whether that two are same or not, that we have to check. Okay, so again, all these formulas are very important. Formulas for fs lambda, fc lambda, f of lambda, and inverse of them. All these 6 formulas are very, very important. And just properly solving the integration, we can get the solution. So we'll take the problems based on it. So by that you can understand how to solve this show that problem by using Fourier integral representation. Consider the first problem. Using Fourier integral representation, show that integral 0 to infinity sine lambda into cos lambda x divided by lambda d lambda is equal to pi by 2 for x greater equals 0 less than 1, pi by 4 for x equal to 1 and 0 for x greater than 1. Okay, now it is a show that problem and it is asked to use the Fourier integral representation. So the method is whatever term on this right hand side, take all that term as f of x. Okay, first consider all this term as f of x. So f of x is equal to pi by 2 for x between 0 and 1, pi by 4 for x equal to 1 and 0 for x greater than 1. Now look at the term in this integration. Okay, then check whether it contains sine lambda x term or cos lambda x term. Now here angle is lambda. We want lambda x angle, and that lambda x angle is over here. Okay, here there is no lambda x, only lambda. But here there is a lambda x term, and that is together with cos term. So this integration contains cos lambda x term. And we are not having sine lambda x term. Sine lambda is there, but we want sine lambda x. So that term is not there. So this integration contains only cos lambda x term. So we use Fourier cosine transform. Okay, so carefully remember, angle is very important. Angle must be lambda x, not single lambda or not single x. It must be together. Okay, and if we have such term, then we use Fourier cosine transform. And now use the standard formula of Fourier cosine transform, Fc lambda. So by standard formula, Fc lambda is equal to square root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of u cos lambda u du. Okay. Now we have assumed this f of x. We know what is f of x. And here we want f of u. So wherever x is there, replace it by u. That gives us f of u. Okay. Now here integration is from 0 to infinity. But the function is defined for different intervals, 0 to 1, then at 0.1 and at x greater than 1. So these are the three different intervals. So accordingly, we have to split this integration. Okay. So split this 0 to infinity. How to split it? We have to split that as 0 to 1. Here it is exactly at 1. So it is 1 to 1, upper and lower limit. We have to consider 1 because there is no interval. It is a fixed point, single point is there. So the integration will be from 1 to 1. And here it is from 1 greater than 1. Means it is 1 to infinity. So split this integration into 3 parts. And that 3 parts are 0 to 1. Between 0 to 1, it takes value pi by 2. So it will be between 0 to 1, we are taking the value pi by 2 into cos lambda u du plus. Second interval is at a single point. So it will be from 1 to 1. Between 1 to 1, it takes value pi by 4 into cos lambda u du plus. Limits, next interval is from greater than 1. Means upper limit is infinity. So it is from 1 to infinity. But between that, the function takes value 0. So it will be 0 into cos lambda u du. No, 0 into cos will be 0 and integration of 0 will be 0. So all this integration will be 0. Now, in the integration, whatever function may be there, but if the upper and lower limit of that integrations are same, then that integration is also 0. Okay, because when we solve this integration and if you put upper and lower limit, and as upper and lower limits are same, okay, when we do the subtraction of that, whatever integration we get, subtraction of that value at upper limit and lower limit, it will give us the same value because both the limits are same. And subtraction of same terms will be 0. So the second and third integration will be 0. how to solve the first integration. You can take this pi by 2 outside. Integration of cos we can get directly. A standard formula is this, we can get it. So simplify it further. Second and third integration get cancelled because that both the integrations are zeros. Only these two integral, only one integration we get. Pi we can write it as root pi into root pi. 2 can be written as root 2 into root 2. And then cancelling some of the terms. 1 root pi get cancelled with one of the root pi from here. Root 2 get cancelled with one of the root 2 from here. So the remaining term will be root pi by 2. Okay. And what is the integration of cos term? Integration of cos is sine lambda u divided by derivative of lambda u with respect to u. And derivative of lambda u with respect to u is lambda. Okay. So integration of cos is sine lambda u divided by lambda. Limits 0 to 1. Correct. Now substitute upper and lower limit. Substituting upper limit, we get sine lambda into 1 by lambda. We are substituting the limits for u term. So if we substitute lambda equal to u equal to 1, it becomes sine lambda by lambda. And at 0, we get sine 0. And sine 0 is 0. So at a lower limit, this function will be 0. Okay? So only one term we get. This is nothing but Fourier cosine transform. But what we want to show that right hand side, that is we want to show f of x in the form of integration. This is the right hand side of the equation, and we want to show that comes out to be the term in the integration. How to get f of x from fc lambda? To get f of x from fc lambda, we use inverse Fourier transform. And as we are using cosine transform, so we use inverse Fourier cosine transform. We use the standard formula. So by standard formula, f of x will be square root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity fc lambda cos lambda x d lambda. Okay, using the inverse Fourier transform. And now substitute this value over here. Substitute the value of fc lambda and then simplify it. So f of x become square root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity. We are substituting this value, it will be root pi by 2 sine lambda by lambda, this cos lambda x d lambda as it is. Okay. Now this root pi get cancelled with this root pi, root 2 get cancelled with this root 2, and then simplifying it, it gives us the term integral 0 to infinity sine lambda into cos lambda x divided by lambda d lambda. And this is nothing but the integration which we want to find. This is nothing but left hand side of the equation. And right hand side already we have considered as f of x. This is right hand side. So that is what we want to show. Integration of all this term means all this integral is nothing but f of x, right hand side. Okay, so it is very easy. What we have to do, first of all, whatever function is there on the right hand side, take that as f of x, and then whatever terms in the integration, whether it contains cos lambda x or sine lambda x or both the terms, depending on that, use the corresponding Fourier transform. Here we use Fourier cosine transform. Solve the single integration, simplify it, and use the formula of inverse Fourier transform. Because of that, we get f of x in the form of integration. And simplify it and check whether it uses the required term or not. Okay. So it is very easy and very important. In all the problems, we just have to solve the single integration. Just properly remember the formulas of integration. Making use of that, we can easily solve this problem. And it is a show that problem, so we know the answer. Just properly pick up the hints and simplify it. Consider the next problem. Using Fourier integral representation, show that integral 0 to infinity sine pi lambda into sine lambda x divided by 1 minus lambda square d lambda is equal to pi by 2 sin x for x greater equal 0 less equal pi 0 for x greater than pi. Okay. So again, it is a show that problem, and we have to show integration equal to some function. So again, the same method. Whatever function is on right hand side, take that function as f of x. So let f of x is equal to pi by 2 into sin x for x between 0 to pi and 0 for x greater than pi. Now, after taking this as f of x, look at the term in the integration, whether it contains sin lambda x or cos lambda x term. Now here pi lambda is there, we want lambda x. Here lambda x is there, and that is with sin term. So it contains sin lambda x term. So we use Fourier sine transform. Okay, as it contains sin lambda x term, we use Fourier sine transform. If it contains only cos lambda x, we use Fourier cosine transform. And if it contains both the terms, then we use general Fourier transform. First definition, first formulas, first two formulas. Okay. Now use the standard formula of Fourier sine transform. So standard formula is fs lambda is equal to square root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of u sine lambda u du. Okay. Now we have to put this value f of u. Now instead of x, we have u. So wherever x is there, replace it by u. But here the function takes different value depending on the interval. So because of that, we have to split this integration from 0 to infinity into these intervals. So what are the intervals? 0 to pi, and greater than pi means it is pi to infinity, because there is no upper limit. So it must be infinity, pi to infinity. Okay. Split this integration according to this. Then within that interval, whatever value of the function is there, use that value instead of x. Now take it as u, and this will be 0. As no x, so this 0 will remain as it is. So it will be root 2 by pi as it is, integral 0 to pi. Between 0 to pi, it takes value pi by 2 sine x. So it will be pi by 2 sine u, sine lambda u as it is, du, plus between pi to infinity, function takes value 0 into sine lambda u du. But 0 into sine will be 0, and integration of 0 will be 0. So all this integration will be 0. Okay, so you just have to solve this first integration. Okay, and pi we can write it as root pi into root pi. This we can write it as root pi into root pi. Then one root pi get cancelled. 2 can be written as root 2 into root 2. Then we can cancel one root 2. We can cancel one root pi. So remaining is root pi by 2. Okay, so simplify it. So root pi by 2 outside, integral 0 to pi sine u sine lambda u du. Okay, now we have to solve this integration. Okay, now if you have only sine term, single sine term, we get the integration directly by standard formula. But here there are two sine terms. We are in the product of two terms, and both the terms are sine. Okay, and if we try to use integration by parts, we know that integration of sine will not vanish. So using integration by parts, okay, generalized rule or any other rule is not convenient here. Okay, so integration by part is not convenient. Direct formula for integration of sine into sine is not there. So we have to simplify all this term. We have to simplify this term so that we can use standard formulas. And we know the formulas in trigonometrics for sine A, sine B. We know the formula for sine A into sine B. And the formula is half into cos of A minus B minus cos of a plus b. Okay, so these are the this is the standard formula. So we can make use of that and we can simplify it. Okay, so use that formula. So sin A sin B, using that standard formula, it will be cos of u plus lambda u, and so if you use that formula, it becomes cos of u minus lambda u minus cos of u plus lambda u. Okay, by using the formula of sin A sin B. Okay, now integration of both this term you can get directly, because integration of cos, single cos term we know. Okay, if you want you can take u common out of this two, or out of this two also you can take u common, or you can keep this term as it is, no problem. Integration of cos, that is nothing but sine. Take this 1 by 2 outside, so it will be 1 by 2 into root pi by 2. Integration of cos is sine u minus lambda u divided by derivative of this. Now what is the derivative of this with respect to u? Derivative of this with respect to u is 1 minus lambda. Okay, minus integration of cos is sine u plus lambda u divided by derivative of this. Divided by derivative of this is 1 plus lambda. Lambda is the constant term, derivative of u is 1. It is 1 plus lambda. Limits from 0 to pi. Okay, now substitute the upper and lower limit and then simplify it. So if you put the upper limit pi, then this becomes sine pi minus lambda pi, sine pi plus lambda pi. And at 0, it becomes sine 0 minus 0, that is sine 0. And this becomes sine 0 plus 0, that is sine 0. And sine 0 is 0. Okay, so at upper limit, we get sine of pi minus lambda pi divided by 1 minus lambda minus sine of pi plus lambda pi divided by 1 plus lambda. At lower limit, both terms are 0. Okay. Now, if you look at the answer, in answer we want 1 minus lambda square. In the answer, we want 1 minus lambda square in the denominator. So accordingly, we have to simplify it. Okay, and that we can get by taking product of these two. And you can simplify this numerator terms also. Now we know the formula for sine pi plus theta. Sine pi plus theta is minus sine theta, and sine pi plus pi minus theta, sine pi minus theta, this is equal to sine theta. Okay, there are standard formulas. Sine pi minus theta is sine theta, and sine pi plus theta is minus sine theta. So you can make use of that formulas. This becomes sine lambda pi, and this become minus sine lambda pi. Minus minus it become plus, and this will be sine lambda pi, and this will be minus minus plus sine lambda pi divided by 1 minus lambda 1 plus lambda. Actually, we are doing this simplification because in answer we want this term in the denominator. So accordingly, we have to do the simplification. You can do simplification at this step, or you can do it afterwards. Ultimately, we have to get the left hand side. Okay, so at any step you can do simplification. Excuse me. Now simplify it further. You can take sine lambda pi common outside. Now take sine lambda pi common and do the cross multiplication. After taking sine lambda pi common, multiply this to 1, then multiply 1 minus lambda to this side. That will be 1 after taking this term common, and then multiplication of these two terms. Okay, doing cross multiplication. So sine lambda pi, take it outside, divide by 2 as it is, into square root of pi by 2 as it is. This will be 1 plus lambda will be on this side, 1 into 1 plus lambda plus 1 into 1 minus lambda, divided by product of 1 minus lambda into 1 plus lambda. Correct? Now this lambda get cancelled. 1 plus 1 is 2, and the formula, we know the formula a minus b into a plus b. Okay, make use of that formula. It is nothing but a square minus b square. So you can use that formula over here. So you can get the product of these two terms. Okay, 1 plus 1 it becomes 2. That 2 get cancelled with this 2. And in the denominator we get 1 minus lambda square. So fs lambda is equal to root 2 by pi into sine lambda pi divided by 1 minus lambda square. Okay, but we want right hand side, that is f of x in the form of integration. Just now we got the Fourier transform, but we want inverse Fourier transform. Okay, that gives us f of x in the form of integration. Now here sine is used, so use the inverse Fourier sine transform. So by using inverse Fourier sine transform, standard formula, f of x is equal to square root of 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity fs lambda into sine lambda x d lambda. Okay, substitute all this value over here. Okay, so if we substitute that value, it becomes f of x is equal to root 2 by pi integral 0 to sine lambda pi divided by 1 minus lambda square into sine lambda x d lambda. Okay, now further simplify it. This lambda get cancelled, 2 get cancelled, and simplifying the term, it gives us the integration f of x is equal to integral 0 to infinity sine lambda pi into sine lambda x divided by 1 minus lambda square d lambda. Okay, and you can see this is nothing but the left hand side of the equation. This is the required left hand side. Okay, so that is how we can simplify the terms to get the required answer. So right hand side f of x is equal to this left hand side. So important is checking, first of all, taking the given the function on other side as right f of x, then look at the terms in the integration and then simplify it to get the required answer. Consider the next problem. Show that integral 0 to infinity lambda sine lambda x plus cos lambda x divided by pi into 1 plus lambda square d lambda is equal to e raised to minus x for x greater than 0 and 0 for x less than 0. Okay, so again, first take all this term as f of x. So let f of x is equal to e raised to minus x for x greater than 0 and 0 for x less than 0. Now look at the term in the integration. I can see in the integration we have sine lambda x as well as cos lambda x. Both the terms are there. And if the integration contains both the terms, then we have to use general Fourier transform. Okay, only sine, Fourier sine transform, only cos lambda x, use cosine transform, and if contain both, then general Fourier transform. Now use the definition of general Fourier transform. Formula for general Fourier is f of lambda is equal to 1 upon square root of 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity f of u e raised to minus I lambda u du. Okay, general first formulas. Okay, it is from minus infinity to infinity. Now we know the function, but this function is defined in different intervals. So split the integration according to this interval. Greater than 0 means it goes up to infinity, and less than 0 means it can go below up to minus infinity. So split this integration according to this interval. Minus infinity to 0, 0 to infinity, and put the corresponding value of the function. Instead of x, take as u. So it will be square root of 1 upon square root of 2 pi integral 0 to infinity Between 0 to infinity, it takes value e raised to minus x. But instead of x, now take u. And e raised to minus I lambda u du as it is, plus it will be integral from minus infinity to 0. But between 0 to minus infinity to 0, the function is 0. And integration of 0 is 0. Okay, so second integration will be 0. Now simplify it. We can combine these two. Power get added if multiplication of the terms is there. By laws of indices, these powers get added. Okay, so you can take u common, minus sign common. Combining this, taking minus sign and u common. And integration of e raised to ax, we know, so we can use that. This will be constant term. So integration of that will be e raised to minus 1 plus I lambda into u divided by minus of 1 plus I lambda. Limits from 0 to infinity. Now substitute upper and lower limit. At upper limit, we are substituting limits for u. So at upper limit, infinity, e raised to minus infinity. E raised to minus infinity is 0. Okay, and at lower limit, e raised to 0 is 1. Okay, so make use of that. It becomes 1 upon root 2 pi e raised to minus infinity 0 minus at e raised to 0 1, so it is 1 upon minus of 1 plus I lambda. Minus minus it becomes plus. Okay, so but we want f of x in the form of integration, so use inverse Fourier transform. And here we are using general transform because this is general Fourier transform, so we are using corresponding inverse transform. Okay, now substitute all this value here. So it is 1 by root pi, root 2 pi, integral minus infinity to infinity, 1 by root 2 pi, 1 upon 1 plus I lambda, e raised to I lambda x as it is. Okay, and this minus minus, it becomes plus. Now we have to simplify this and we have to get the answer. We know what is the answer. So try to get that answer by simplifying this integral. Okay, 1 by root 2 pi, 1 by root 2 pi, you can combine it. And if you have complex number in the denominator, then how we can remove that complex number? We can remove that complex number by doing rationalization. We multiply and divide by conjugate of this. Now what is the conjugate of this complex number? It is 1 minus I lambda. Multiply and divide by 1 minus I lambda. So to remove this complex number, we are dividing and multiplying by 1 minus I lambda. The product of complex conjugate is nothing but real part square plus imaginary part square. Okay, x plus iy into x minus iy. X plus iy into x minus iy. Product of that is nothing but x square plus y square. Okay, so make use of that. So in the denominator, we get that product. So it will be 1 square plus lambda square. Okay, into we know the formula for e raised to I theta. E raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. Euler's formula. So using Euler's formula, we get this cos lambda x plus I sin lambda x. Okay. Now take the product of these two complex number. Now how we take the product of complex number? It will be real part into real part minus imaginary part into imaginary part plus I into real part into imaginary part plus imaginary part into real part. So the product will be 1 into cos lambda x minus lambda into sin lambda x, minus minus it becomes plus I into real into imaginary, 1 into sin lambda x plus imaginary into real part, that is minus lambda into cos lambda x. And then separating the denominator. Now, last time only I told you the property of integration. If you are having the integral from minus to plus limit, then if the given function, if the function is even, then the integration become 2 times 0 to a. And if it is odd, then integration is 0. And here you can see that the limits are from minus infinity to infinity. Now, cos is a even function, lambda is odd, sine is odd, but multiplication of two odd function, okay, multiplication of two odd function is even. So this is even, 1 plus lambda square is even. So this total function is even. Sine is odd, lambda is even, but lambda is odd and cos is even, and odd into even function is odd function. Because if you replace lambda by minus lambda in this total term, it will give us the minus of original term. This is even, but when we have two odd function by even, this total function become odd. You can check, replace lambda by minus lambda in total function. It will give us minus of the original function. Because of that, it is odd. So integration of this second term by using this formula will be 0. Integration of this will be 0. And integration of minus to plus limit of even function. This is even function. Minus to plus limit of even function will be 2 times 0 to infinity. And this 2 and this 2. 2 times 0 to infinity and this 2 get cancelled. 1 by pi 0 to infinity cos lambda plus lambda sine lambda x divided by 1 plus lambda square d lambda. And you can see that this is nothing but the required integration. That is what we want to show. Okay. So in this problem, what we have done, both sine lambda x and cos lambda x terms are there. So we use general Fourier transform. Then we got the value of, then we convert it to f of x by using inverse Fourier transform. But this is not the answer. In answer, we want sine cos term. So we use Euler's formula and we remove this complex number from the denominator by multiplying and dividing by conjugate. Okay. And then taking the product of complex number and using the property of integration from minus to plus limit. For even function, it becomes 2 times 0 to plus limit. For odd function, integration becomes 0. And we know the answer. So according to answer, we have to do the simplification. From answer itself, you can get the idea which terms get cancelled and how to simplify the terms. So this is the last